Thank you for showing me that. I needed to see, I said. The broadsword glowed momentarily before dimming once more. Let's move. We've stayed here long enough, I spoke. Where? I asked my mind. I don't know, I said. Will I ever see them again? My mind inquired. I don't know. I reached within my body, myself. Spikes of stone and obsidian grew out of me like fresh shoots. My body rippled with thickness, elongation, and armor. Oh, the power of stone, I relished. How do we get out of here? I asked myself, eyeing the endless, towering destruction. The sword erupted into a rippling sheet and poured itself into the walls around me, adding to the sphere. Having reinforced the layers of the protective bubble, the staff sped us away, racing upwards and obliterating debris as it smashed through them, rendering and reducing them to motes of light. In moments, we were free from the wreckage and on bare, sandy ground. 3 suns, 2 dark orange and 1 yellow, were shining down, marking the late afternoon. The orb dissolved around me and rematerialized as a barely noticeable, fingernail-thin blue thread that looped around one of the long, ragged spikes on my armored forearm, completely out of sight. I looked around me. No one and nothing was afoot. Once again I was awed, and yes, frightened. Not as much as before, but still by what the staff had caused. The sheer level and magnitude of utter destruction. Never having seen the outside of the fortress of Anura, I could not compare it in its destruction. It looked like a colossal mammoth of a black mountain had collapsed and been split and sliced up by vengeful and rampaging plate tectonics. From the outside, it was impossible to be aware of the devastated subterraneous levels that spanned from several hundred to 1,000 feet deep below. I took a deep breath. Enough sightseeing. Let's go, I said to myself. With that, I started at a moderate gallop, running parallel to the destruction, which I assumed must have been visible for miles around. All the while, I thought about the staff. I don't understand the staff. It has saved and protected me for the most part. It is a hand-me-down from Zhaoqin, yet didn't at all protect me from a dragon. Completely destroys Anura, forcibly separates the others from me, yet helps me and continues to do so without asking for a price. It has never asked. Maybe, perhaps, one day, it will ask for an impossible or inconceivable one to pay up for all it has done. I do owe it without end. Whose side is it on? What if it's an Anura? But that wouldn't be possible. Couldn't. Can't. Anu's the last one. The others were all destroyed. Or were they? Zhaoqin said, he would know, more and better than I ever could. Why am I here and not with them? Perhaps by isolating me, the staff believes that I can grow and develop more for my role, be self-autonomous, and discover my necessary strength and prowess. Or the staff could be leading towards the complete opposite. Don't trust it. That is completely contradictory. I have no choice. Trust fate. Regardless of all that has happened, trust fate. I have to. I am supposed to be here. I was supposed to come to this planet and into these circumstances. Fate decreed it. Trust fate, Zamus. I have no choice. I have to, I concluded. Enough reflections, I said. I slowed to a brief trot and stopped. A woman stood in front of me, 5 to 10 yards away. Where'd she come from? Don't tell me that I was that engrossed in thought that I completely failed to notice her. What a disaster of awareness. She didn't just spring up. I stared, shocked and very much irate at my obliviousness. She was entirely made of gray stone. Her flesh was the color of granite. I stood still, both stunned, surprised, and completely weary. Let her approach. She comes to you. You have the upper ground, I thought. I was completely curious, though, never having seen a creature of stone aside from myself. She looked incredibly marvelous and beyond beautiful, with jet black hair that was braided to her back, the tip swaying from side to side as it was breathed on by the wind. She was clothed in copper-colored armor that covered her thighs and torso, but not her upper arms. Padded armor, the color of papayas, adorned her forearms and heavily muscled, thick, and sculpted lower shins. Her feet were completely exposed. From this distance, I could see her black obsidian toes and fingernails. Each foot and hand ended in 5 digits. Her hands were garbed in a brown material that exposed her fingers and deeply resembled leather. Within those hands lay savage weapons. In her right hand was a long, spiked dagger, the length of her forearm and hand included. Within her left was a 4-sided mace, with smooth, long spikes. The entire weapon was the length of her torso, neck, and head combined. Her eyes were glowing, peering into me. Each eye was a blazing mixture of bright orange and lime green, with an orange sclera and green iris. They were interesting, unsettling, fertile, calm, warlike, experienced, wise, hard, battle-hardened, intelligent, and complex, lovely and beautiful, all at the same time. Her striking gaze punched me, shooting through the exterior of the beast and into the man within. The silence was long, pervading like a blade without end. For 5 minutes it stabbed the air, piercing through its seams. The woman's eyes never blinked. I have been hunting you, creature, beast, she finally spoke. I nodded at her philosophically, trying to display a competent intelligence. I squinted my great blue eyes, faked a yawn, aimlessly wagged my tail, and flicked an ear, trying to appear quite daft, dumb, and bored. Hunting me? How did you know I even exist? Then it hit me like an anvil. My tracks! The likes of them had never been seen before. I growled out a groan and grunted a sigh. I gazed at the ground, intent on a 6-digit paw print. My gaze returned to her, and I slowly began walking over. She didn't retreat or lower her weapons. I stopped 2 yards from her, towering over her by a good 10 to 12 feet. Her gaze was relentless, but intensely curious. I have been tracking you since I spotted a strange pair of tracks east of the Imperengu River some weeks past. Alongside its edge for miles, I spotted 2 pairs of tracks. It was obvious that one belonged to a dragon, the other clearly to a creature unknown. For weeks I lost your trail, once they vanished into the heart of an emerald crystal forest. She chattered in the way that people address animals. Weeks? How can that be? That was just yesterday. I swallowed, uneasy. Time moves so strangely here, so imperceptibly fast. What felt like a few weeks with Joaquin was actually 8 years, so I was told. But how? Not now. I redirected my thoughts. So how then did you get back on my trail? I questioned, trying to focus on the here and now.